Bhatti. Lay down the burdens that weigh upon your heart, so your soul may rest in peace. Or, to live serenely in this life requires not only wisdom and clarity, but also the ability to let things go with a lighter heart. Fine. There are moments when we do not need to define right and wrong so precisely, because some matters, once understood too deeply, leave us with no desire to keep walking further down the same path. 5. There are people whose true nature, once fully seen, naturally inspires us to keep a respectful distance rather than remain as close as we once were. Faith. Deep within every human heart exist hidden corners that perhaps no one, even over an entire lifetime, can truly understand, reach, or share with complete compassion. Faith. All hardships, obstacles, and wounds encountered along the journey of life must ultimately be carried in silence and overcome through one's own strength, found often in moments of profound solitude. Find. No matter what happens in life, do not allow yourself to remain trapped in sorrow forever, for no one knows how much joy tomorrow may still be preparing for you. Found. Along the path of human existence, there are still many roads waiting for us to continue walking, and countless doors that can only be opened through our own sincere effort. Joy and sadness together create the true flavor of earthly life, just as bitterness and sweetness together form the fullness of a complete human journey. Found. No matter how heartbroken you may feel today, after a night's rest, learn to leave everything behind as a chapter of karma and conditions that has already passed. Find. If you continue holding tightly to yesterday and endlessly replaying it in your mind, you will only exhaust your spirit and make life feel increasingly heavy. What other people think about us is something we can never truly control, just as their actions have never belonged to our power of decision. The only thing we can do is wholeheartedly strive to live well with ourselves and walk steadily upon the path we have chosen with sincerity and kindness. When a person simply lives honestly and compassionately within their own life, peace naturally settles in the heart, the mind grows lighter, and wholesome connections gradually appear. Remind yourself not to think too far into the future, for life is inherently impermanent, and no one knows how tomorrow may transform. When favorable circumstances arise, do not focus solely on gathering benefits for yourself, because wealth accumulated over a lifetime can never be carried beyond this world. Knowing what is enough and understanding when to stop is among the greatest forms of wisdom a person can possess amid the endless competition and turbulence of life. No matter how justified you may be, do not corner others to the very end, because constant battles over who is right eventually create greater distance between hearts. The arguments of this world can be debated for an entire lifetime, yet they can never fully establish an absolute and unquestionable definition of right and wrong. Even if you win through words and arguments, losing the goodness within your heart still turns that victory into a deeply regrettable defeat. No matter how talented or capable you may be, never look down upon or ridicule another person who shares this human journey with you. Comparing people with one another often wounds the heart, while measuring everything through material possessions easily awakens endless desires and attachments. Those who are excessively clever often make others feel cautious around them, while those who pursue perfection too rigidly may invite unnecessary resentment and conflict. If you remain arrogant and constantly view yourself as superior to others, sooner or later, people will drift away, for few wish to remain near an ego that has grown too large. Best, overthinking only gives rise to greater mental suffering, and paying attention to every tiny detail often leaves yourself as the one who becomes most exhausted. 3. Pursuing too many desires and endless expectations only makes the soul increasingly burdened, preventing the discovery of genuine and lasting peace. Fame. Only when the heart learns to appreciate simple happiness do the passing days become lighter and life itself begin to feel more meaningful. When the mind is truly free and at ease, a person can finally recognize that this life remains worthy of love, gratitude, and appreciation. And cherish the people who are still beside you today, because after one farewell, there may never be another opportunity to meet again. And do not keep waiting for a perfect day before allowing yourself to be happy, because true joy is always hidden within the present moment. Life is as fleeting as the blink of an eye. Someone who is present today may become nothing more than a distant memory tomorrow. When someone intentionally causes you pain, learn to forgive so your heart can become lighter and no longer carry the weight of resentment. However, forgiveness does not mean continuing to place complete trust in someone who has repeatedly brought sorrow and disappointment into your life. Or, forgiving others is, in truth, a way of releasing yourself, allowing your heart to step out of the prison built from old wounds and lingering pain. If you continue trusting blindly after repeated betrayals, it is much like handing others another opportunity to hurt you once again. Every person has the capacity to change and correct their mistakes, but time and sincere actions must be allowed to prove that transformation. No matter how many reasons life gives you to feel discouraged, try to find one small thing that inspires you to keep smiling and moving forward. No matter how much suffering and sorrow exist in the world around you, the most important task is still protecting the peace within your own heart. Learn to let go of the people and situations that weigh heavily upon your mind, so that your life may become more peaceful and free. Living fully within the present moment is one of the most beautiful ways for a person to discover peace amid the uncertainties and changes of life. If you learn to care for yourself and avoid becoming overly dependent on others, you will gradually grow stronger, more resilient, and more confident. 5. As long as you continue moving forward with perseverance and a compassionate heart, you will surely encounter light, warmth, and hope at the end of the road. Throughout an entire lifetime, a person may love more than one individual, yet there will always be one who leaves the deepest imprint upon the heart. There will be someone who brings forth your brightest smiles, but there may also be someone whose memory lingers, bringing longing and heartache throughout many years. Once something has already been purchased, do not continue regretting the money spent, because what has passed can no longer be changed by remorse or reflection. When you truly love someone with all your heart, do not allow suspicion and doubt to wound a precious connection that was never easy to find in the first place. If you have chosen to part ways, then refrain from speaking bitter words or harboring resentment, for every meeting in this world arises through the mysterious workings of karma and destiny. Choosing the wrong person is much like wearing a pair of shoes that do not fit. Every step becomes more painful, yet letting go somehow feels unbearably difficult. That reluctance to release what no longer belongs to us often becomes the very reason people must carry suffering throughout the long road that follows in life. 4. A person who cannot even govern their own emotions will struggle to hold on to anything for long, no matter how much they possess. 4. If the mind lacks peace and mindfulness, then sooner or later, everything that has been gained will dissolve like clouds drifting across the sky of impermanence. 5. The saddest thing in human life is not being strangers from the beginning, but becoming strangers after once sharing deep closeness and understanding. Some people suffer more than others because they take love and affection so seriously that they offer their hearts without reservation. Trusting the wrong person is like placing your heart into the hands of someone who does not know how to cherish it, and in the end, the deepest pain remains your own. Now, there are feelings that once seemed profound and everlasting, yet, with the passing years, they gradually grow distant and cold in ways that are difficult to comprehend. The bond between people is much like a handful of sand. The tighter you try to hold it, the more quickly it slips away. People often long for the past, not because everything was perfect, but because those days have vanished forever and can never truly return. Yet even if we were somehow given the chance to revisit those former days, life would not necessarily unfold more beautifully than we once imagined. Therefore, one of the most important lessons in life is learning to look ahead rather than remaining lost within memories that have already passed. If one day you feel too exhausted to continue persevering, remember the reason that inspired you to begin your journey in the first place. As long as you can still remember that original purpose, you will possess the strength to walk through even the most difficult seasons of life. Life becomes remarkably lighter when we learn how to release the things that were never truly meant to belong to us. In this world, there is no person who cannot eventually be left behind, and there is no wound that cannot heal with enough time and wisdom. What causes the greatest suffering is not the act of losing something, but the unwillingness of the heart to genuinely let it go. The person walking beside you today may not always be able to appear when you need them most to share the burdens of life. Someone who cares deeply about you does not mean they are free from struggles, worries, and challenges of their own. No matter how deep an affection may be, it cannot endlessly endure prolonged indifference and emotional distance year after year. Even the warmest and most devoted heart will eventually grow weary if it continually receives carelessness and neglect in return. Do not wait until someone turns away and leaves before realizing how often you may have unknowingly taken their presence for granted. And do not wait until your heart is filled with wounds before rushing to repair things that have already become too late to mend. Among the vast sea of humanity, simply meeting one another is already a rare and precious karmic connection in this lifetime. A small human heart that can sincerely embrace and love another person is, in itself, something truly miraculous and beautiful. Therefore, while you still can, learn to cherish and protect the meaningful relationships and blessings that are presently part of your life. Genuine affection, cannot be built in a single day, but requires great sincerity, patience, and understanding to grow and flourish. B. Yet, when hearts begin to change, feelings sometimes fade quietly and gradually, without the need for any spoken farewell. Bowed. People do not drift apart in a single moment. Rather, distance is created little by little through countless days of growing indifference. Fun. If your reflection no longer exists within someone's eyes, then stubbornly holding on will only deepen the pain within your own heart. But when their heart no longer holds a place for you, thinking endlessly about them serves only to wound yourself further. Balm. As you journey through life, never allow your heart to be trampled by those who fail to value the sincerity you offer. Brand. Because the heart can feel what words cannot express, learn to listen to its quiet wisdom instead of clinging to what has already changed. Faith. A relationship cannot endure through the efforts of only one person. It requires mutual care and dedication from both sides to remain strong. Brand. If only one person is left struggling alone against the storms of life, that relationship will eventually become a burden rather than a blessing. Faith. If the present is already filled with exhaustion and heartbreak, the future is unlikely to improve if you continue enduring the same suffering without change. Vex. Learn to save yourself by setting down the burdens that drain your spirit and then gather your strength to move courageously forward. Faith. One day, you will understand that letting go at the right moment is often the gentlest and most peaceful form of liberation. Nurture kindness and goodwill within every relationship, for each encounter in life arrives carrying its own unique karmic purpose. First, if you look upon others through the eyes of compassion, they too will appear gentler, kinder, and more worthy of appreciation. Fund. On the other hand, if you constantly view people through suspicion and resentment, the world around you will gradually seem darker and heavier. 5. Just as when you smile into a mirror and are greeted by a joyful reflection, the attitude you bring to life often returns to you in the same way. Find. And if you constantly wear a gloomy expression and carry sadness within, then the only reflection you will see is a face burdened by exhaustion and sorrow. Find. The same principle applies to friendships. When people treat one another with respect, sincerity, and courtesy naturally return in equal measure. But if you continually raise your voice, belittle others, or treat them with contempt, what comes back will only be disappointment and emotional distance. Pray. Therefore, when living among friends, let sincerity be the foundation upon which lasting bonds and meaningful friendships are built. Family members offer love, care, and responsibility so that the warmth of home may remain strong and enduring through the years. Toward the one you love, learn to practice understanding and forgiveness rather than constantly seeking fault or competing to be right. Even toward those who have caused you pain, learn to forgive so that your heart is no longer weighed down by resentment and bitterness. 5. If you consistently maintain kind intentions and treat others with goodness, life will gradually respond with warmth, kindness, and unexpected blessings. Fine. When your heart is filled with beautiful thoughts and wholesome intentions, the quality of your life naturally becomes lighter, calmer, and more peaceful. Buddhist teachings remind us that appearance arises from the mind, and when kindness grows deep enough within, serenity will reveal itself upon the face. 4. When the light of goodness radiates from the heart, the world around you is gradually influenced and softened by that positive energy. Keep a measure of sincerity within yourself instead of spending all your time searching for the flaws and shortcomings of others. For when you focus only on the mistakes of other people, there is no guarantee that you yourself are any closer to perfection. Using a narrow and limited perspective to judge others will eventually leave you dissatisfied with nearly everyone you encounter. A person who constantly tries to corner others is, in truth, also closing off the paths that could have remained open within their own life. Spending every day discussing the virtues and faults of others harms no one more than it burdens your own mind with unnecessary troubles. When your attention is always fixed on the lives of others, you leave yourself no time to lift your eyes toward the sky and truly live your own life. A person who is overly controlling often struggles to keep friends close because few people enjoy being around arrogance, pressure, or selfishness. When the heart becomes excessively self-centered, the one who ultimately suffers the greatest exhaustion is the person carrying that attitude through life. And only genuine love can create deep and enduring bonds, possessing enough compassion and generosity to embrace the vastness of the world itself. Whenever you have the opportunity, sit quietly and reflect upon your own shortcomings rather than continually examining the faults of others. Once you understand the impermanent nature of life, you will feel less inclined to constantly judge what is right or wrong in the lives of others. And even if words do not directly wound someone, careless speech can still create heavy karmic consequences that linger far longer than expected. Among the many harmful actions people commit, damaging one's virtue through dishonesty and false speech is among the most dangerous of all. Therefore, be mindful of every word you speak and never casually spread stories about others that are untrue. And, even in moments of humor and playfulness, maintain moderation so that your words do not unintentionally cause hurt or sadness. When offering advice or correcting someone, avoid harsh language and preserve a measure of kindness, dignity, and compassion for one another. No matter how reasonable your arguments may be, never drive another person into a corner through words that are excessively severe. No matter how correct your reasoning may seem, never force someone into a dead end, for leaving others a path forward is also a way of preserving blessings for yourself. When handling life's challenges, avoid becoming overly harsh or extreme, because tolerance and understanding always help people draw closer together. Learning to accept the imperfections of others is also a way of opening a broader and more peaceful path for yourself. When you cultivate empathy toward those around you, your heart gradually becomes more generous, compassionate, and expansive with time. A truly tolerant person is one who chooses to meet the ever-changing world with a heart grounded in kindness and goodwill. A person of noble character always understands that respect should serve as the foundation of every interaction with those around them. Someone who has cultivated inner wisdom often reveals it through a gentle attitude and calm composure in everyday words and actions. The ability to place yourself in another person's position and understand their perspective is what makes a human being truly admirable and beloved. When you learn to respect those before you, life often responds with equal measures of appreciation, respect, and sincerity. 5. If you consistently treat others with gentleness and grace, your own inner world will naturally become more relaxed and peaceful. Fact: in life, wherever there is gain, there will also be loss, for nothing in this human world remains forever, according to our wishes. Facts: acts of generosity do not always receive immediate rewards, because life unfolds according to laws and rhythms far greater than our expectations. Vows: the future still stretches before you, and as long as you possess the courage to continue walking, hope has never truly disappeared. Freedom: give yourself the wings of freedom so that you may rise above the pain and burdens that once weighed heavily upon your heart. Bard: if you wish to live joyfully, first learn to let go of concerns about age and the years that have already passed behind you. Fast: do not allow the passage of time to make your spirit grow old, for as long as your heart remains youthful, life will always be filled with reasons to hope. Fame: human beings must learn to overcome the temptations of fame and gain, for in the end, all such things remain merely external possessions that can never truly belong to us forever. That everyone hopes to gain a little more recognition and benefit in life, and because of this, competition, comparison, and conflict often become difficult to avoid. 5. When circumstances fail to unfold according to our wishes, we tend to blame life for being unfair, forgetting that greed itself is often the true source of suffering. Fast: in truth, living a simple and ordinary life is perhaps the greatest form of happiness that a person can aspire to attain. Found: material wealth cannot remain by our side throughout an entire lifetime, yet a sincere friend may accompany us through many years and seasons of life. Ray: some friendships appear simple on the surface, yet they become the most precious treasures a person could ever hope to find. Ray: one of life's greatest blessings is having a true confidant, someone to whom you can turn when loneliness and weariness weigh heavily upon your heart. Reet: yet, within the vast flow of human existence, meeting a genuinely sincere friend is far from an easy thing. Therefore, value the quality of your relationships rather than chasing countless shallow encounters that leave little meaning behind. Freight: people must also learn how to build a peaceful refuge within their own hearts, a place of stability that remains untouched by life's storms. Find: whenever troubles arise, allow yourself moments of stillness and create a quiet space where your mind can rest in peace. Face: only when the mind becomes truly calm can a person clearly perceive reality and rediscover the peace that has always existed within. Reet: take a moment to notice the small flowers growing beside the road. Though delicate and humble, they quietly offer beauty to the world around them. White: it is often these simple and unassuming things that make our world feel brighter, warmer, and infinitely more beautiful. 5. When you choose to view life through the eyes of optimism, each passing day can become a day filled with happiness and ease. 4. Human beings often make the same mistake of easily forgetting the many kindnesses that others have shown them throughout the years. White: the moment someone makes a small mistake, we remember that fault for a long time while forgetting all the goodness they once offered us. Bard: many people focus excessively on the shortcomings of others and, in doing so, convince themselves that they are somehow better or wiser. Thunder: the more we scrutinize the lives of others, the more flaws we seem to discover, until hardly anyone appears worthy of our approval. And, in reality, the way we perceive other people often serves as a mirror, reflecting the true condition of our own hearts. Bound. If your heart is constantly filled with irritation and dissatisfaction, then dissatisfaction is all you will continue to see in others. Wife. When the mind is unhappy, even the smallest clumsiness of another person can appear enormous and difficult to tolerate. Vice. Some grievances are like thorns lodged within the eye. The longer we hold on to them, the more pain we cause ourselves. And continually remembering the mistakes of others is, in truth, using their faults as a weapon against your own peace of mind. Bay. Living every day in resentment and complaint only makes the soul heavier, more exhausted, and less capable of experiencing joy. Wife. Therefore, learn to remember the kindness others have shown you, rather than clinging endlessly to their imperfections. When confronted with the shortcomings and flaws of others, practice a little more tolerance so that your own heart may become lighter. Find. After living long enough, we begin to realize that every person carries both admirable qualities and hidden sorrows that few ever see. If you choose to preserve only the beautiful memories and virtues of others, the world around you naturally becomes gentler and more pleasant. Find. Remembering the good in others is always more valuable than endlessly carrying their mistakes and the resentment attached to them. When the heart is filled with bitterness, suffering quietly grows within and slowly consumes the peace that once belonged to you. For, no matter how good or virtuous you may be, it is impossible to make everyone in this world love, admire, or approve of you. Wife. No matter how sincerely you live, some people will appreciate you, while others may dislike you without any clear reason at all. Wife. Whether you succeed or fail, praise and criticism will always exist, for such judgments are inseparable from human society. Find. Where there are people who admire you, there will also be those who envy, dismiss, or underestimate what you possess. Life has always been this way, and no one can ever satisfy every person they encounter in this world. Wife. Therefore, do not lose your true nature merely because you are trying too hard to meet the expectations and opinions of others. 5. Everyone needs principles and self-respect to prevent their hearts from being carried away by the words and judgments of the crowd. 5. In the eyes of different people, we exist in countless versions and images, none of which can perfectly define who we truly are. 5. The most important question is not what others think about you, but whether you are living in harmony with your conscience and moral values. Faith. As long as you remain true to your conscience and continue striving to become the best version of yourself, that alone is already something deeply admirable. 5. Though human eyes may look alike, each person views life through a perspective entirely unique to their own experiences and understanding. Best. Though everyone possesses the same ability to speak, the way they communicate and treat others reveals the character hidden within their hearts. But, though human hearts may share the same structure, the thoughts, emotions, and perceptions within each person are endlessly diverse and unique. Faith. Money holds the same value for everyone, yet the way a person earns, uses, and regards it often reveals the true character hidden within their heart. Bound. Though all people live beneath the same sky, each individual ultimately chooses a unique path and way of living for themselves. Bound. Therefore, Walk forward with confidence upon your own feet, rather than endlessly waiting for encouragement and approval from others. Bound. An eagle soaring across the vast sky can still spread its wings and rise high, even when there is no applause or admiration surrounding it. Bound. The grasses and trees growing across open fields continue to flourish quietly despite receiving no special care, enduring sun and rain with quiet strength. Bow. A flower blooming deep within a mountain valley releases its fragrance gently, even when there is no one there to admire its beauty. Fact: when doing good deeds, there is no need for everyone to fully understand your intentions. It is enough to know that you acted sincerely and with a clear conscience. Fact: likewise, there is no need to make everyone love and admire you, as preserving virtue and kindness is already more than enough. Flowers. Though flowers come in countless forms, colors, and shapes, they bloom together beautifully without jealousy, comparison, or competition. Fact: human beings are much the same. Each person possesses a different character and way of life, so rather than diminishing one another, we should help each other grow. Fact: if you encounter someone who is truly worthy, learn to cherish them so that you do not lose a precious karmic connection in your life. Bound. Whatever brings genuine happiness to your heart is worth protecting, because true peace is not something everyone finds easily. Fast. Stay close to those who bring joy into your life, and when someone touches your heart through sincerity, love them wholeheartedly and without reservation. Bound. Being a good human being may sound simple, yet winning the affection of countless hearts while enduring the judgments of society is an extraordinarily difficult task. Fact: yet perhaps it is not as difficult as it seems, because anyone who preserves a kind and compassionate heart is already a truly admirable person. Simply walk calmly upon the path you have chosen with a benevolent heart, without becoming overly concerned about the opinions and criticisms of others. Bound. The environment in which you live will gradually attract people whose energy, values, and outlook resonate with your own world. Fact: the kinds of people with whom you associate will inevitably influence your character, thoughts, and habits as time quietly passes. From different heights, people see entirely different landscapes, perspectives, and meanings within life itself. Fact: when the heart becomes broad and open, even the sky before your eyes seems wider, brighter, and more peaceful. Fact: if you have not yet met the person you have long been hoping for, perhaps there are still aspects of yourself that need growth and refinement. Fact: people truly encounter the relationships meant for them only after cultivating within themselves values worthy of such companionship. Therefore, the most important task is to continue improving yourself, and in time, the right blessings will arrive naturally. The more a person strives to live kindly and continues making sincere efforts, the more opportunities and fortunate circumstances life tends to reveal. True happiness does not depend upon whether a house is large or small, but upon the laughter, warmth, and love that fill it. Human joy is also not determined by how much praise, admiration, or recognition is received from others. The greatest treasure is having someone who remains beside you during moments of weakness and sorrow, listening, understanding, and offering gentle comfort. The most precious things in life are not the possessions we own, but the people who continue walking beside us through the years. force. We cannot force anyone to love us, but we can strive to become a person worthy of love, respect, and appreciation. Found. When we are children, we often believe that bleeding wounds are the most frightening kind of pain, and so we cry loudly whenever we are hurt. Right. Yet, as we mature, we come to understand that some wounds hidden within the heart can hurt far more deeply than injuries upon the body. 5. In truth, aside from life and death, which are the greatest matters of all, every other difficulty in this world will eventually pass away. And beginning today, no matter how many troubles arise, do not torment yourself further by dwelling endlessly upon them. Vain. No matter how many disappointments life may place before you, never allow them to steal your faith in the possibilities of tomorrow. For today is merely one chapter within your journey, while tomorrow always remains another opportunity to begin anew. Best, always remember that the more persistently you continue moving forward, the more blessings and fortunate opportunities life often places in your path. If you meet people who willingly offer help, support, and understanding, then cherish them sincerely and with gratitude. A person who spends generously on your behalf is not necessarily wealthy, but may simply value affection and loyalty more than money. Those who willingly yield benefits to others are not foolish. Rather, they have understood the deeper wisdom found in sharing. Some people voluntarily carry greater responsibilities than others, not because they are naive, but because they possess a strong sense of duty. The one who apologizes first is not always entirely wrong, but may simply value the relationship more than the pride of their own ego. When someone takes the initiative to help you, it is not because they owe you anything, but because they regard you as someone important in their life. If you are fortunate enough to meet such sincere and kind-hearted people, treasure them carefully and hold them close for as long as possible. Every suffering in life is meant to be understood and transcended, not clung to endlessly until it becomes a source of further pain within ourselves. What is truly frightening is not failure itself, but a person's inability to rise after falling, for failure is a completely natural part of every human life. Very few people pass through life without stumbling, making mistakes, or experiencing moments of deep pain, disappointment, and loss. But when someone chooses to remain defeated after failure and lacks the courage to stand again, the years that follow may become filled with regret and suffering. Life possesses its own quiet balance, for the more a person receives, the greater the responsibilities they must eventually carry. Human existence resembles the sky itself, sometimes radiant with light and beauty, yet, at other times, covered by darkness, storms, and uncertainty. In the end, life is remarkably brief, and both happiness and sorrow pass by more quickly than we often realize, like the blink of an eye. There are moments when we spend our days smiling with joy, and other moments when we can do little more than sigh at life's endless changes. Yet the most precious thing of all is learning to love while we still can, because life is neither as long nor as short as we imagine. Whatever is truly worthy of appreciation should be cherished with sincerity, while what must be released should not be held onto in vain. For there are people we can never seem to forget, because our hearts still carry too much love, attachment, and lingering affection for them. Yet there are also people we must learn to let go of, because they are no longer worthy of occupying a permanent place within our hearts. Fruit. Do not place complete trust in your own eyes, for people often see only what they wish to see and overlook everything else. Things that do not align with our expectations are often ignored unconsciously, making our perceptions less reliable than we believe. Frequently assume they can control everything in life, yet, in truth, every journey depends upon countless conditions and connections supporting one another. Pray, no matter how many difficulties you face today, maintain faith that tomorrow still holds new opportunities waiting beyond the horizon. Find, the only thing that can never return is yesterday, while the future can still be transformed through the efforts you make today. Aim, if you wish to keep your spirit from growing old, continue learning throughout your life so that wisdom may be nourished day after day. Bathe. Those who enjoy learning and expanding their understanding often preserve a youthful heart, even as the years quietly pass. Then, read books throughout your life. For those who continue embracing knowledge, rarely become stagnant, narrow-minded, or outdated. Find people who maintain the habit of exercising and caring for both body and mind tend to preserve positive energy for many years. 5. As long as a person remains diligent and hardworking, they can continue discovering meaning, purpose, and value within their life. Base. Those who still know how to dream and nurture hope will never allow their hearts to grow truly old amid life's uncertainties. Find, as long as a smile remains upon your lips, there is still enough light within to guide you through even the darkest seasons. Bear. People who live joyfully and share positive energy naturally bring warmth, comfort, and encouragement to those around them. Bond. A heart that still knows how to love will retain its gentleness and youthful spirit, no matter how many years have passed. Bind. Anger and frustration are emotions that every human being encounters repeatedly throughout the course of life. Ben. Some people carry such heavy burdens from daily struggles that their hearts become constantly filled with exhaustion and sorrow. Or others gradually become irritable because of difficulties at work or disappointments within their personal relationships. Bear. Everyone has their own methods of releasing negative emotions, yet not every method is wise, healthy, or compassionate. Find. Some choose to shout or direct their anger toward others as a way of releasing the pressure that has accumulated within. Bathe. Whether a person's character becomes kind or harsh is often influenced by their environment and the way they were raised. 5. People who are frequently quick-tempered are often accustomed to having their wishes indulged, causing them to focus primarily on their own feelings. What? Because they rarely place themselves in another person's situation, they may gradually become selfish and lacking in compassion. Find. Human beings often lose their temper with family members while showing greater patience, politeness, and restraint towards strangers. Many times, because we trust the love of our family, we unknowingly allow our bad habits to grow stronger over time. Find. A small disappointment can trigger immediate anger, causing us to forget that our words and behavior may deeply wound those closest to us. And to continually enjoy the love and support of family while repeatedly unloading negative emotions onto them is profoundly unfair. When people fail to reflect upon themselves, such uncontrolled anger becomes a sign of selfishness and emotional weakness. We must seriously examine our own behavior and ask whether this is truly the way we wish to continue living. Find. A genuinely strong person is not one who becomes angry easily, but one who can master their emotions during the most difficult moments. Base. Everyone understands that anger cannot solve problems and often makes situations more painful, complicated, and distant. Vow. When faced with circumstances that do not go your way, learn to remain calm, reflect carefully, and seek solutions with wisdom and compassion. Bond. Simply remembering the relationships that were damaged by moments of anger can reveal how painful such losses truly are. Bond. A single outburst of anger can wound many people and destroy countless valuable efforts, opportunities, and precious relationships. Why? When the fire of anger erupts, it becomes extremely difficult for people to remain calm enough to listen, understand, and treat one another with gentleness. Bind. Even the breath becomes heavy and strained during moments of anger. So how can the mind possibly remain clear, wise, and discerning? Bond. Therefore, never regard a quick temper as something normal, for it is often a sign of weakness and instability hidden deep within. Bind. A person who cannot control their own emotions will find it difficult to master either their life or the relationships surrounding them. Bind. The loss of control during anger often reveals feelings of helplessness and selfishness that quietly reside within the heart. Bond. Train your inner strength through the smallest daily actions so that your mind remains peaceful amid every change and challenge of life. Bide. In matters of affection, perhaps the thing that wounds most deeply is the hurtful words spoken by someone we dearly love. Bound. Words can become keys that open the doors of the heart, yet they can also become blades capable of causing profound suffering. Faith. Unless one has witnessed the sorrowful eyes of someone deeply hurt, it is difficult to understand how sharp and powerful words can truly be. Bound. There are sentences spoken carelessly that leave another person carrying sadness and heartache for a very long time afterward. Baned. Words are sometimes like invisible knives that draw no blood, yet leave wounds buried deep within the soul. Bound. A single cold remark, an indifferent glance, or a careless attitude can slowly extinguish the warmth and sincerity living in someone's heart. Vow. The closer a relationship becomes, the more deeply painful, hurtful words can penetrate and wound the heart. Phase. There are people who, through careless speech alone, leave others carrying emotional pain for many years. Bound. Some individuals become so accustomed to speaking harshly that they unconsciously injure the feelings of those around them. Bound. There are people whose words seem stern while their hearts remain kind. Yet there are also those whose unrefined minds cause them to become angry without reason. Bear. Time may heal many wounds, but the scars left within the heart rarely disappear completely. Bound. Some pains seem to have fallen asleep with the passing years, yet a single reminder can awaken them and make the heart ache once more. Words may not directly take away a person's life, but they can quietly erode the love and connection that bind people together. Bound. Sometimes, a single careless sentence is enough to push someone farther away and gradually cool the warmth of a cherished relationship. Bars. In truth, one of the most painful feelings within any relationship is the sense of being overlooked, undervalued, or emotionally neglected. Bound. When expectations are ignored too many times, the heart eventually grows weary and slowly begins to close itself off. Fallow. Once a person has become completely disappointed and turned away, it is often very difficult to restore what was lost. Bound. Those who have been hurt too often frequently choose silence because they no longer possess the strength to explain or hold on. Or, as the years pass, that silence gradually transforms into coldness, and the distance between people continues to widen, bend. Some wounds in life cannot be healed completely by a simple apology, no matter how sincere it may be. Bowing. Because building a harmonious relationship is already difficult, do not allow temporary anger to destroy something so precious. Fact. Once affection has been fractured, it becomes difficult to recover the same sincerity, trust, and peace that existed in the beginning. Phase. People often regret hurting others afterward, yet very few recognize the consequences before the damage is done. By simply becoming a little more tolerant and learning to manage emotions more wisely, countless unnecessary sorrows could be avoided. 5. If people were more mindful of their words and attitudes, many beautiful relationships would never end in regret. Treasure wholeheartedly those who are still beside you today, for they are among the greatest blessings life can offer. Best. A small act of sincerity and gentleness today may preserve bonds of affection that could otherwise never be recovered. A handful of salt dropped into a small cup of water makes it unbearably salty, yet the same handful poured into a vast lake has almost no effect. The troubles within the human heart are much like that salt, while the size of one's inner capacity determines how much suffering is experienced. If your heart becomes spacious enough, the things that once saddened you will gradually feel lighter and easier to bear. True happiness arises from inner peace and contentment rather than from the amount of material wealth one possesses. When the mind remains light and balanced, a person can still discover serenity even amid life's countless uncertainties. Many situations are actually quite simple, yet excessive thinking causes people to create confusion and exhaustion for themselves. The more we calculate, cling, and obsess over every detail, the more tightly our minds become trapped by unnecessary worries. On the other hand, no matter how complicated life appears, learning to view things more lightly can make the heart breathe freely again. Some situations require nothing more than a gentle smile and the willingness to let them pass without turning them into major problems. Some people need only to be understood within your heart, without endless efforts to prove who is right and who is wrong. Those who constantly seek attention may continue their performance, for competing over trivial matters ultimately brings no lasting meaning or value. When someone stubbornly insists that they are right, silence is often wiser than argument, for continuing the debate may only create more suffering and mental unrest. Who you are is not nearly as important as you may think, and the opinions others hold about you are rarely worth carrying as a burden in your heart. What truly matters is living with a clear conscience and maintaining inner peace amid the endless changes and uncertainties of life. 5. Living in harmony with circumstances does not mean giving up. Rather, it means learning to flow with causes and conditions so the heart may remain free and serene. Life brings countless people into our path and takes many away, just as there are many relationships that cannot be held onto forever. If you learn to smile more openly and live with greater tolerance, you will discover many lessons that are both graceful and profound. When the mind becomes clear and peaceful, the smile upon your face naturally grows brighter and more genuine with each passing day. 4. Most of us were not born into privilege or luxury, and therefore every meaningful achievement in life must be earned through our own efforts. Vow. For this reason, continually remind yourself never to surrender too easily, because the road ahead remains long and filled with possibility. Bound. No matter how strong a person may appear, there are still moments when fear and exhaustion quietly emerge within the heart. Bond. When the heart is hurting, everyone longs for a safe place where they can weep, rest, and begin the process of healing. Fucking. Learn to care for and cherish yourself sincerely, because only those who love themselves wisely can truly love others in a healthy way. Bound. When you understand your own worth, other people gradually learn to treat you with greater respect and genuine appreciation. Bound. Time eventually reveals the truth hidden within people's hearts and helps us recognize who truly chooses to remain by our side. 5. No matter what form love or affection may take, anything born from sincerity will always be felt and understood by someone. Bold. If you live wholeheartedly and treat others with kindness, sooner or later you will encounter souls that resonate deeply with your own. 5. Life is filled with uncertainties beyond our control, and therefore many things require neither endless explanations nor constant justification. Fine. If something brings you joy and remains true to your heart, continue walking forward, regardless of the storms and challenges ahead. The road beneath your feet must ultimately be traveled by you alone, and many of life's difficulties must also be faced through your own strength. Bound. Some wounds are so deeply personal that no one can fully understand them, which is why we must eventually learn to heal ourselves. Barred. Never become overly dependent upon anyone, because no person can remain beside us forever throughout an entire lifetime. Bind. Relying upon others can never compare to learning how to stand firmly and courageously upon your own strength. Bound. Whatever happens, continue refining your character, cultivating your virtues, and improving yourself with each passing day. Bound. Much of human suffering arises because people view the world through lenses colored by suspicion, fear, and negativity. Bind. When we think badly of others, the first thing harmed is often our own inner peace and emotional well-being. Bathe. When we choose to think kindly of others, our own hearts become lighter, happier, and filled with more positive energy. Bow. A heart that consistently leans toward goodness naturally creates a sense of peace and happiness within itself, despite life's many demands. Verse. If people could believe that those around them are not entirely bad, much unnecessary worry and suffering would disappear from their minds. 5. The truth is that our hearts become heavy, not because others are so terrible, but because we continue carrying too many negative thoughts ourselves. Vice. Some individuals have not yet revealed their best qualities, simply because the right circumstances and conditions have not arrived for their goodness to shine. 5. Therefore, practice noticing the strengths and kindness within others, so that your own heart may continue growing in wisdom and maturity. Verse. When you deliberately focus your attention upon what is positive, your spirit gradually becomes more open, peaceful, and expansive. Third, try spending a day, a month, or even an entire year practicing the art of looking at others without judgment, suspicion, or prejudice. 5. Then you may discover that when your heart is no longer crowded with assumptions and biases, life feels surprisingly light and effortless. Flame. Make a vow to become a small flame during the coldest winter, offering warmth to weary souls who are struggling through life's hardships. Bound. Likewise, become a gentle drop of water during the heat of summer, bringing comfort, calmness, and relief to those around you. Fast. When compassion remains alive within your heart, your very presence becomes a source of peace and comfort for others. Vice. If you cannot yet recognize the goodness within another person, then at least practice viewing them with greater simplicity, patience, and understanding. Vain. The less complicated and judgmental your perspective becomes, the purer, lighter, and more peaceful your heart will grow. Barn. Though it sounds simple when spoken aloud, maintaining a kind and benevolent view of life is actually far from easy. Buck. Human beings must learn to open their hearts and live with tolerance instead of rushing to condemn, criticize, or blame others. Barn. When understanding and love become greater, the world around us gradually feels warmer, richer, and far more meaningful. Bind. Those who think excessively often create unnecessary suffering for themselves by worrying about things that have not even happened yet. Unders. Responsibility gradually gives a person direction in life, while experiences shape the character, destiny, and wisdom they carry through the years. Pass. The way you choose to live each day will eventually be reflected back to you through the life you create for yourself. And the state of mind a person carries often determines the kinds of relationships they attract, drawing people whose inner worlds resonate with their own. But when facing difficulties, strong individuals usually believe that although the challenge is great, there is always a way to overcome it. In contrast, those who give up easily tend to view everything through a pessimistic lens and assume that every obstacle is impossible to conquer. Thoughts gradually shape a person's way of living, while today's actions quietly determine tomorrow's outcomes. 5. Sometimes the difference lies in only a single thought within the heart. Yet that small thought can completely transform the course of a person's life. Fast. When unpleasant situations arise, do not react with anger or expect everyone around you to fully understand your pain. Bound. Not everyone in this world possesses the depth of insight required to truly comprehend the burdens hidden within another person's heart. If you become too fragile and constantly wait for sympathy from others, you may only deepen your own suffering. Even if the world sees nothing remarkable in you, never abandon your dignity, self-respect, or sense of worth. A person may be poor in material possessions, yet should never allow their spirit to become impoverished or lose its noble value. There are many things in life that can only be encountered through karmic conditions and cannot be obtained through force or desire alone. 5. Some meetings happen only once in a lifetime, and after they pass, they may never return again. Therefore, learn to cherish those who remain beside you, while peacefully letting go of those who choose to leave. Do not allow the loss of one person to blind you to the many beautiful blessings still waiting ahead. Likewise, do not become consumed by a single problem or place your entire heart in only one individual. Beyond romantic love, there are family members, friends, and countless responsibilities that deserve your care and attention. Always remember that life gives us another opportunity with each new day, and that opportunity is called tomorrow. Bound. When life hands you a sour lemon, do not rush to complain, but instead learn how to transform it into something beneficial. Well, you can use it to prepare a meal or make a refreshing drink, just as people can transform adversity into wisdom and growth. Bound. If difficulties are met only with negativity and despair, then those challenges will remain nothing more than bitter suffering. There. Yet, when you face hardship with optimism and an open heart, adversity itself can become a priceless teacher. Bound. Whether life feels bitter or sweet often depends less on circumstances and more on how we choose to respond to them. There. Time may cause a person to grow older, but it does not automatically make them wiser, deeper, or more mature. There. Only through setbacks, struggles, and life's major turning points do people truly learn how to grow. Bound. A wise person, when alone, knows how to examine their own mind and guide it along a wholesome and righteous path. Fame. They regard moments of solitude as opportunities to reflect upon their mistakes and cultivate a better character. Bound. When interacting with others, those who understand life's principles also know how to speak carefully and act with humility. Thus, speaking little does not mean being cold or silent, but rather knowing when to offer words that are kind, meaningful, and necessary. Bound. A single sentence that brings peace to another person's heart may be worth far more than 1,000 empty words. Bound. Whenever you feel lost, hopeless, or trapped by life, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and offer yourself a gentle smile. Fast. Remind yourself that this is merely a difficult bend in the road and not the final chapter of your journey. Bound. Everything in this life is temporary, so do not become excessively attached to either gain or loss. Bounds. If circumstances are favorable today, cherish them fully, because every joy eventually passes with time. Facing hardship right now, do not despair, for no suffering remains unchanged forever. Virtue and kindness are not qualities meant to be displayed for admiration, but quiet paths that lead the heart toward genuine peace. Bow. True morality is not a decorative mask to impress others or a shield used to gain approval in society. Authentic virtue is like the rudder of a ship, guiding a person safely through the turbulent waters of this temporary world. Bound. Whenever someone helps you through a difficult season of life, remember their kindness and carry gratitude for their generosity. Balanced. Yet do not place all your trust or dependence upon anyone, because in the end, you are the one who will accompany yourself throughout your entire life. Bound. If one day others can no longer help you, learn to rely upon your own courage, resilience, and inner strength. Friends are like precious gold, while a true soulmate is like a rare diamond, worthy of immense appreciation. 5. Yet, even if you discover the most valuable diamond, never forget the friends who quietly walked beside you through the years. Bound. Just as a brilliant diamond still requires gold to support and display its beauty, meaningful relationships require sincerity and loyalty in order to endure. Friendship is like a precious book. A few careless moments may be enough to damage it, yet it often takes many years of sincerity and trust to build. Excessive worry cannot remove the difficulties of tomorrow, but it can easily steal away the peace and happiness of today. 5. Therefore, learn to live simply, treat others with kindness, and use a sincere heart to share love with those around you. There, everyone understands that the windshield in front of a car is far more important than the rear-view mirror behind it. 5. Life is much the same, for the future ahead is always more worthy of our attention than remaining trapped in the past. Yet, from time to time, looking back upon what we have experienced can help us gather valuable lessons for the road ahead. Because of the experiences of yesterday, we learn to appreciate the present more deeply and navigate the future with greater wisdom. Whenever we sincerely pray for the well-being of others, that wholesome energy quietly spreads beyond what our eyes can see. Perhaps some of the peace and happiness you experience today exists because somewhere, someone is silently wishing good things for you. Sometimes it is worth viewing the world through the innocent eyes of a child so that the heart can feel more love and wonder. When the mind is no longer burdened by prejudice and judgment, it becomes easier to recognize the simple beauty surrounding us every day. People often say that a sincere smile is worth far more than many medicines intended to nourish the body. So why not learn to love yourself a little more and offer more smiles to life with each passing day? There are times when both body and mind feel so exhausted and wounded that even the effort of smiling seems difficult. Yet, by trying to smile just a little more, even a weary and barren heart can gradually find warmth and healing again. When life brings injustice, hardship, and fatigue, learn to let go so that your soul may become lighter and freer. Amid the gossip, criticism, and judgments of others, do not allow your life to become imprisoned by public opinion. Simply smile gently, for time continues to move forward, and eventually most things settle and fade away. If someone has wronged you, do not cling endlessly to resentment, but instead try to open your heart with greater compassion. Remember that this is the Saha world, where every person carries their own karma, burdens, and hidden sorrows. Therefore, rather than blaming others, strive to maintain optimism and continue living with kindness amid life's constant changes. Those who consistently choose goodness and compassion will not easily be driven into complete despair by life's challenges. Allow love and compassion to reside within your heart so that each passing day becomes warmer and more meaningful. A broad and open heart is like the vast ocean, capable of embracing the collisions, disappointments, and sufferings of human life. A sincere smile is a quiet source of strength that nourishes hope during even the most difficult periods of life. No matter how wealthy or powerful a person becomes, without joy in the heart, their life can still feel poor and lonely. Suffering itself is not as frightening as locking one's own heart away within sadness, bitterness, and negativity. A smile offered at the right moment can brighten an entire day and add more happiness to the life you are living now. Today, have you truly smiled at yourself, or have you allowed worries and sorrow to cover your heart for too long? A gentle and peaceful smile retains its power to bring comfort to the soul, even after enduring countless storms. In the end, both happiness and suffering arise primarily from the condition of one's own inner world. The state of your mind shapes the way you perceive and experience everything around you. people often feel exhausted because they remain trapped within endless cycles of emotional debts, attachments, and unresolved grievances. When the entanglements within the heart are not released, life becomes weighed down by ongoing anxiety, regret, and inner conflict. Many things in life appear clear and obvious at first glance, yet reality often differs greatly from what we initially perceive. 5. Witnessing something only means that we have seen it. It does not necessarily mean we understand its true nature. Seeing is not the same as understanding, and even partial understanding does not guarantee possession of the complete truth. What we hear and see is often colored by personal interpretations, assumptions, and subjective perspectives. Those who question their own judgments tend to act more carefully and wisely throughout life. When we stop rushing to conclusions and refrain from casually judging others, our own minds become far more peaceful. A person who remains calm before every situation avoids many moments of embarrassment caused by mistaken assumptions. Much of human sorrow arises because people cling too tightly to things and have not yet learned the art of letting go. People often become angry because they expect others to think, behave, and live according to their own preferences. But when the heart lacks tolerance and understanding, even the smallest disagreement can become a source of heaviness and distress. Persistent sadness often arises because people have not yet learned how to cultivate a more positive, open, and expansive way of thinking. Anxiety and worry usually appear when the mind lacks the clarity needed to view life's circumstances with calmness, wisdom, and balance. Human beings suffer easily because their inner strength has not yet become resilient enough to endure life's inevitable changes and losses. Jealousy is born when the heart feels incomplete and constantly measures its own happiness against the fortunes of others. Greed and endless desires arise when people have not yet fully understood the truth of impermanence that governs all existence. In reality, every form of mental suffering originates primarily within one's own mind, rather than being entirely caused by other people. Each moment of suffering is also an opportunity to return inward, observe the heart, and gain a deeper understanding of oneself. Only after recognizing the shortcomings hidden within can we begin the journey of transformation and self-improvement. Through difficulties, disappointments, and inner struggles, people gradually mature and learn to live with greater awareness and wisdom. Life will certainly present countless situations that fail to meet our expectations, leaving the heart weary and discouraged many times. There will be words and actions from others that cause pain, anger, and a profound sense of unfairness. In such moments, gently remind yourself to practice patience and allow those events to pass through your life like a passing breeze. Harsh words and angry criticism from others are often nothing more than temporary expressions of their own frustration. Those who habitually speak rudely and wound others are, in truth, creating negative karma through their own speech. Therefore, do not cling too tightly to resentment or nurture hatred, for bitterness only drains the spirit and exhausts the heart. If you continually harbor thoughts of revenge and retaliation, you will imprison yourself within an endless cycle of sorrow and suffering. Bond. Amid this worldly realm filled with conflict and judgment, patience and a compassionate heart remain the surest paths to peace. 5. People who live positively maintain a composed attitude and a benevolent perspective toward whatever life brings. 4. Our thoughts gradually shape who we become, for life often reflects the qualities that continually occupy our minds. 5. If you constantly believe that you are incapable or worthless, you will lose the motivation needed to create anything meaningful. Force. Conversely, when you trust in your own potential, your inner strength naturally discovers ways to continue growing and moving forward. Find. As long as you maintain a positive outlook, even difficult experiences can become valuable lessons that enrich your life. Those who transform adversity into motivation are far less likely to be overwhelmed by suffering and despair. 5. Understanding other people is a form of intelligence, but understanding yourself is a form of awakening. 4. Conquering your own mind and overcoming its restless illusions is far more meaningful than defeating countless rivals in the world. Base. The greatest challenge every person faces is learning how to master and guide their own inner world. 4. For this reason, meditation and periods of stillness are invaluable tools for discovering what truly matters in life. 4. When you understand what you genuinely love and aspire toward, each day becomes more meaningful, joyful, and fulfilling. 4. The most precious thing people seek throughout their lives is ultimately the peace and purity of their own hearts. 4. After a lifetime of striving and laboring, what most people truly desire is simply a period of calmness, ease, and serenity. And many spend their lives searching for peace in the external world, while forgetting that the deepest refuge already exists within. If the heart becomes less greedy, less angry, and less concerned with competition, life naturally feels lighter and more harmonious. When the mind grows quiet enough, people begin to experience a simple peace that they previously overlooked in their haste. Anger is like a burning piece of charcoal. Before it can be thrown at someone else, it first burns the hand holding it. There are times when anger causes us to hurt others, yet the person who suffers most deeply is often ourselves. Must never speak harsh words while consumed by anger, because moments of lost control can create wounds that are difficult to heal. But a single careless sentence spoken in rage can destroy relationships that once seemed strong and beautiful. Those who live with compassion always know how to treat children gently and offer sincere care to the elderly. They also empathize with those who suffer hardship and willingly open their hearts to people who are vulnerable and struggling. For sooner or later, each of us will face our own suffering and need understanding from others. Therefore, begin today by cultivating compassion and treating every person you encounter with kindness and respect. Everyone who walks this earth carries hidden sorrows within their heart. The only difference lies in how much they must bear. Only those who are suffering truly understand the weight of the wounds, pressures, and struggles they face each day. For this reason, live with a compassionate heart so that you may genuinely love, understand, and empathize with the burdens carried by others. When we consistently view life through eyes filled with kindness and goodwill, the world around us gradually begins to appear gentler, brighter, and more beautiful. Acts of kindness offered to others not only bring happiness into their lives, but also leave our own hearts feeling lighter, calmer, and more peaceful. Wow. Those who understand the deeper principles of life usually know how to follow the flow of causes and conditions, rather than forcing everything to happen according to their wishes. Find whatever is truly meant to remain in your life will endure through countless trials and eventually stay by your side. Find, and whatever was never truly yours to keep will eventually leave, no matter how tightly you try to hold on. And this is especially true in love, where the harder people try to control and possess another person, the more likely they are to lose their own peace of mind. And we may wholeheartedly pursue what our hearts desire, yet we must also learn how to let go when circumstances move beyond our control. Find, if we stubbornly cling to something that no longer belongs in our lives, we ultimately create greater suffering and exhaustion for ourselves. Yet, when we learn to live in harmony with circumstances and follow the natural flow of life, our hearts become significantly lighter and more at ease. Bound. This is also how people learn to accept the endless changes of life without becoming overwhelmed by the pain of gain and loss. Becoming angry is a natural human reaction, but mastering one's emotions is a far rarer and more admirable strength. If a person cannot govern their own emotional state, they may easily become a servant to negativity and destructive impulses. Some people believe that speaking impulsively and bluntly is proof of honesty, when in reality, it often reflects a lack of thoughtful consideration. True honesty does not involve hurting others carelessly, but rather speaking truthfully while preserving kindness and respect. One of the greatest mistakes many people make is giving their worst emotions to the very people who love them most. Do not allow negativity to remain constantly visible upon your face, for such heaviness eventually tires those around you and creates distance. A person who cannot manage their own emotions may possess many blessings in life and still end up destroying them through carelessness. You may never fully realize how deeply you have wounded another person during a moment when your own emotions were out of control. Some words seem fleeting when spoken, yet they can leave another heart carrying pain for a very long time. A gentle word can warm an entire winter, while a cruel remark may leave someone feeling cold and wounded for years. People often fail to realize that the words spoken in anger become some of the most difficult wounds to heal. Especially among loved ones, thoughtless words can quietly create heartbreak and emotional distance that grows over time. The more mature we become, the more important it is to cultivate tolerance and learn how to regulate our emotions wisely. Do not allow a single moment of anger to cost you the people who have sincerely loved and supported you. Someone who truly loves you will encourage you to improve your shortcomings so that both of you may grow together. And a person who patiently accepts your imperfections with genuine understanding is someone who treasures you deeply. Choose sincerity and speak from the heart, for deception can only conceal problems for a brief moment. Only kindness and words rooted in genuine feeling can truly heal misunderstandings and resolve emotional wounds at their source. We cherish meaningful relationships, not because we are weak or overly attached, but because beautiful moments are worthy of being preserved. Being a good and compassionate person does not mean being weak. It means understanding the goodness that naturally exists within every human being. 5. People are born with the seeds of kindness within them, so do not allow life's wounds to transform you into someone cruel. Bear. Those who live with malice must eventually face the consequences and karmic results created by their own actions. Band. There are times when we choose to appear foolish, not because we lack understanding, but because we no longer wish to compete over every matter. Fact. When confronted with misunderstandings or injustice, silence and a gentle smile are sometimes the wisest responses available. Bear. Pretending not to know something is not always a sign of ignorance. Sometimes it is an act of giving another person the chance to reflect upon themselves. Fine. We choose patience not because we are weak, but because we understand that taking a step back often brings greater peace and wider possibilities. Band. Learning to yield a little can prevent countless conflicts and preserve many precious relationships throughout life. 4. Forgiveness does not mean weakness. It is one of the most beautiful qualities a human heart can possess. 4. Those who know how to forgive often live more peacefully because they are no longer burdened by resentment and bitterness. And we choose tolerance not because we lack convictions, but because we understand that not every matter should be pushed to the extreme. And life contains countless imperfections, and things rarely unfold exactly according to our expectations. What matters most is not how life treats us, but how we choose to respond to whatever circumstances arise. Favorable conditions and difficult circumstances are simply different tests encountered within this impermanent and ever-changing world. 5. Do not allow your heart to become imprisoned by suffering, but instead learn to keep it open, spacious, and increasingly peaceful with each passing day. When the mind is truly awakened and mindful, even a gentle smile can spread warmth, kindness, and love to countless people around us. Human beings often think far too much and, in doing so, exhaust themselves while losing the peace that naturally belongs within. Excessive thinking only burdens the mind, while the heart gradually becomes filled with greater anxiety, worry, and sorrow. Instead of remaining trapped in endless confusion, find something meaningful to do and strive to live each day more fully and purposefully. We are given only one lifetime to live, so do not allow your days to disappear beneath regret and unproductive thoughts. Once time has passed, it can never return, no matter how deeply we wish for another chance. Life is infinitely more precious than wealth, so do not waste your present days consumed by worry and unnecessary suffering. Learn to appreciate what is already before your eyes, rather than endlessly chasing things that remain distant and uncertain. Simply being granted another day of life is already a blessing, and for that reason, every moment deserves appreciation. No one knows what the next moment may bring, which is why we should live with greater sincerity toward the present. Likewise, none of us knows whether we or those beside us will leave first, so do not allow love to remain unfinished. The people who care about you and those whom you have cherished deeply are all precious encounters granted through karmic conditions. After one farewell, there may never be another meeting, so while people remain beside you, treat them with wholehearted sincerity. Therefore, do not lose yourself in endless thoughts and overlook the simple joys that exist in this very moment. When you feel exhausted, allow yourself to rest, and when your heart feels burdened, learn to relax and release your worries. Life will always contain circumstances that do not unfold according to our wishes, so do not allow small matters to steal your inner peace. There will always be people and situations that fail to meet your expectations, but not everything deserves your lasting attention. Do not become consumed by the gossip and judgments of others, but continue walking forward with calmness and dignity. Whenever you encounter hardship or face the contempt of others, transform those experiences into motivation for growth and strength. View every failure as a valuable lesson and continue quietly walking the path you have chosen for yourself. Pain is not yours alone to carry, for every person is silently healing and growing through their own struggles each day. Human beings must learn to mend the wounds within, while simultaneously finding the courage to face life's many challenges. No matter how exhausting life becomes, we must continue moving forward and learn how to accept reality with wisdom. The journey of life cannot simply stop because the road becomes difficult or filled with obstacles. Everyone carries their own burdens, and the most important task is to keep the heart steady and resilient. If you have the courage to step into society, you will soon realize that life is far less gentle than a mother's embrace. Society often resembles a strict teacher that uses challenges and hardships to shape people into stronger individuals. There are moments when life leaves us so weary that we break into tears. Yet, tears alone cannot change reality. Complaining or appearing pitiful does not always soften the world or persuade it to treat us more kindly. Life is practical by nature, and without effort, we cannot expect success to arrive according to our wishes. Some sorrows must be swallowed quietly within, and some tears can only be wiped away in solitude. No matter how tired or burdened we become, we must eventually learn to endure and grow stronger through experience. Without tasting life's bitterness and sweetness, it is difficult to truly understand people and the changes of the world. Without walking through both joyful and painful chapters of life, it is difficult to distinguish truth from illusion among human affairs. Everyone prefers a simple and sincere life, yet reality sometimes requires us to adapt and change in order to survive. A person cannot remain forever innocent in a demanding world, but must develop strength to protect themselves wisely. The world beyond us is filled with challenges, and those who refuse to move forward may easily be left behind. Sometimes only a small moment of weakness is enough for life's relentless current to knock a person down. The tears we have shed and the difficult roads we have traveled eventually become marks of growth and maturity. The hardships and struggles we have endured are precisely what shape the stronger and wiser person we become today. Therefore, as long as you possess courage and faith, do not be afraid to step forward and experience the vastness of life. Though society may seem harsh, it is also the place where people are refined, strengthened, and matured through the years. There are farewells that bring tears, yet they teach us that human sorrow ultimately shares the same salty taste. Happiness sometimes arrives as gently as a passing breeze. Yet even that brief touch can soothe the deepest wounds within the heart. Back, amid the uncertainties and instability of life, people often wish for nothing more than the ability to dissolve the pain and sorrows they have carried for far too long. There are those who appear calm and smiling on the outside, yet deep within their hearts, they are enduring a lonely and bitter winter. Everyone experiences suffering in one form or another, but the way each person accepts and overcomes it is entirely different. Life is filled with many hardships, yet we still possess the freedom to choose not to remain imprisoned by them forever. When we learn to let go at the right moment, we gradually free ourselves from the worries and attachments that bind the heart. Despair often arises when people place too much hope upon things that are fragile, uncertain, and beyond their control. Anger quietly grows within whenever the heart has not learned how to forgive, tolerate, and release what does not go according to its wishes. Some farewells hurt deeply because we once admired someone too greatly and entrusted them with all of our faith. Many spend their lives chasing wealth, status, and recognition, only to discover that genuine happiness has drifted farther away. Though the human body is small and limited, the thoughts, worries, and burdens carried within the mind can feel immeasurably vast. There are people who appear strong and resilient to the world, while secretly carrying wounds that few could ever understand. If we learn to change our perspective, the things that once caused great suffering may suddenly become much easier to bear. In our relationships with others, we must learn how to place ourselves in their position and view life through their eyes. If you wish to receive something meaningful from life, first learn how to give sincerely and with genuine goodwill. If you hope to be understood by others, you must also learn to empathize with the difficulties and struggles they face. If you desire care and affection, begin by appreciating the love and concern that others already offer through small gestures. If you wish to be respected, first learn to preserve your own dignity, self-respect, and moral character. In both work and daily life, treat others with compassion and understanding rather than focusing solely upon your own feelings. When you consider the challenges and dilemmas faced by others, they too will find it easier to open their hearts to you. Those who willingly help others through difficult times will often receive meaningful kindness in return when they need it most. Human beings can never completely understand one another because each person carries unique experiences, emotions, and perceptions. There are matters that seem simple to you but may feel overwhelmingly burdensome to someone else. Likewise, things that others dismiss lightly may remain deeply embedded within your own heart for many years. Because we are not living another person's life, our perspectives and emotional experiences will always differ in some way. One of the most difficult yet valuable skills in communication is learning to think from another person's point of view. When we understand what truly matters to someone else, we naturally become gentler, wiser, and more thoughtful in our behavior. The most beautiful relationships are those in which two people genuinely recognize and appreciate each other's sincerity and devotion. The most beautiful relationships are also those where people remain willing to help one another complete the unfinished hopes and dreams within their hearts. Last, when people truly understand each other, they can often feel what remains unspoken and treasure emotional bonds above all else. There is no perfectly flawless person in this world, so we should not be excessively harsh toward each other's mistakes and shortcomings. Neither work nor life will always unfold smoothly according to our expectations and desires. Every person, sooner or later, must face difficulties, exhaustion, disappointments, and unavoidable misunderstandings. If we learn to place ourselves in another person's situation, many conflicts and worries naturally begin to fade away. When people sincerely care for one another, affection and loyalty deepen steadily as the years pass. What ultimately distinguishes people is not wealth or social status, but the quality of their hearts and the way they choose to live. There were once 3 individuals building the very same wall, yet each viewed their work through a completely different perspective. When asked what he was doing, the first complained that he was merely struggling through the meaningless task of laying bricks. The second believed that he was contributing to the construction of a great building that would serve many people. The third looked even farther ahead, believing that he was helping to build an entire future city. Many years later, the first man remained, performing the same difficult labor with little change in his circumstances. The second gradually developed his abilities and eventually became a designer of larger and more meaningful projects. The third, through his vision and positive outlook, became a leader who built a remarkable future for himself. Though all 3 people performed the same work, their differing mindsets led their lives in entirely different directions. Those who continually strive to move beyond their own limitations will never stop growing and ascending to greater heights in life. An optimistic mindset not only shapes the quality of one's life, but also profoundly influences physical health, emotional balance, and spiritual well-being. The more positively a person chooses to live, the healthier their body becomes, and the lighter, calmer, and more peaceful their spirit grows. Everyone is given the same 24 hours each day, yet the way those hours are used creates entirely different futures. Those who achieve success are often the ones who treasure every moment and strive to use their time in the most meaningful way possible. In contrast, those who remain stagnant frequently complain that they lack the time needed to begin or transform their lives. This world is ultimately fair because success and failure are often the natural results of the choices each individual makes. True happiness is not hidden in some distant place, but exists within a heart that is peaceful, balanced, and deeply content. Amid the vast ocean of life, the most precious achievement is still the ability to preserve inner serenity and peace. Whether dealing with friends or family, there is no need for elaborate words when sincerity alone is enough. There is no need to make grand promises, for the ability to do what you say is already something deeply valuable. Between human beings, constant calculations of gain and loss matter far less than mutual understanding and appreciation. A beautiful relationship does not require endless suspicion, but flourishes through empathy, trust, and sincere connection. Love does not always need to be intense or hurried. When approached with patience and understanding, it naturally endures through time. Beld. Some people cannot remain by our side every day, yet simply knowing they remember us can bring warmth to the heart. Fact. Genuine affection does not need excessive display, but only the willingness to walk together through life's long journey. Base. A person does not need extraordinary wealth or status to be happy, but only hopes to live with health, peace, and contentment. Bells. Choosing the right profession can provide a lifetime of growth and allow one to pursue meaningful aspirations. Bond. Surrounding yourself with good friends helps cultivate wisdom, maturity, and personal growth through the years. Base. When you find an environment that suits your nature, your spirit can flourish and develop in a more positive direction. Bells. Meeting a kindred soul with a compassionate heart is a great blessing that makes life far richer and more meaningful. Beld. When you choose optimism as your way of living, your inner world gradually becomes calmer and more harmonious, despite life's changes. Bond. Human hands were not created to harm one another, but to protect, support, and care for those we love. Bass. Loneliness and sorrow do not arise entirely because others fail to understand us, but often because we have not released our own attachments. Wide. A truly good friend is one of the rarest treasures in life, difficult to find, difficult to leave behind, and even harder to forget. Then, in the presence of someone who genuinely understands you, there is no need to pretend or hide who you truly are. Wife. Do not reveal your entire heart too quickly when meeting someone new, because appearances do not always reflect sincerity. Wide. There are people who seem kind and trustworthy face to face, yet carry entirely different thoughts behind your back. Therefore, live with both joy and awareness, remembering that life is impermanent and the human heart can be difficult to predict. Thus, only when we learn to govern our emotions can we truly discover lasting peace within ourselves. Faith. No matter how much sorrow we have endured, time gradually softens its edges until it slowly fades into memory. Whilst nothing remains forever, for life is a continuous cycle of endings, beginnings, losses, and renewed hope. Found. Leave yesterday's troubles where they belong, and greet today with a lighter and more peaceful state of mind. Bound. Place your trust in the present moment and send your most beautiful hopes forward into tomorrow. Faith. Everything that happens in life carries its own reason and lesson, though understanding may come only after many years. Then, if you have already given your sincere effort, do not torment yourself with excessive worry, for some things must unfold according to karmic conditions. Base. Every person's journey resembles a long voyage, moving steadily toward a destination uniquely their own. 5. No one will remain beside us throughout the entire journey, which is why we must learn to walk forward with our own strength. Bard. No one can accompany us through every step of life forever, not even family members or friends who once seemed inseparable. Bound. If you are fortunate enough to have someone travel beside you for a long stretch of the road, that itself is a blessing worth cherishing. Faith. When the time comes for them to leave, even if your heart still lingers with affection, learn to part with gratitude and grace. For, on the journey of life, some passengers will depart, while others will arrive to share a portion of the road with us. Bound. Whether a cup of coffee tastes bitter or sweet often depends on whether we choose to add sugar or embrace its original flavor. The same is true of emotional pain. What matters most is not forgetting the past, but finding the courage to continue moving forward. Only when we bravely step beyond what is old and familiar can we truly open our hearts to the new blessings waiting ahead. Human life is much like a cup of tea. When first tasted, it often leaves a bitter flavor lingering upon the tongue. Yet, if we are patient enough to move beyond that initial bitterness, a gentle sweetness eventually reveals itself and settles quietly within the soul. People often become exhausted because they remain caught between whether they should continue holding on or finally learn to let go. There are situations that the mind already understands clearly, yet the heart is still not strong enough to accept the truth before it. And every person who enters our life arrives through karmic conditions, woven together by countless causes and connections from many directions. And yet, whether someone remains beside us for a long time or leaves too soon depends greatly upon how that relationship is nurtured and cherished. There are moments when fewer explanations bring greater relief, allowing the heart to become lighter and more peaceful. Or when we stop clinging stubbornly to every matter, the mind gradually opens and releases many unnecessary burdens. Life has never been perfect, so do not spend your days demanding that everything unfold exactly as you wish. Do not blame others, nor mock anyone, for every person carries struggles and sorrows that are difficult to express. There is also no need to admire others excessively, because each individual walks a unique path shaped by their own destiny. When the sun shines brightly, open your heart to receive its warmth and be grateful for the simple blessings surrounding you. When storms and heavy rains arrive, learn to seek a peaceful refuge where your heart can remain calm and steady. Have the courage to pursue your dreams and walk the path you have chosen with complete faith in yourself. When inner peace becomes strong enough, even a chaotic world cannot disturb the serenity resting within your heart. As parents grow older and weaker, their children often wish for nothing more than the chance to remain beside them, offering care and gratitude. No parent wishes to be neglected or forgotten by their children when old age, illness, and loneliness begin to arrive. Elderly parents are much like children once again, needing greater care, patience, affection, and understanding than before. When your parents' trembling hands cause them to spill a bowl of rice or knock over a cup of soup, please do not become irritated or impatient. Or, when you were a child, they patiently cleaned every mess and cared for you with limitless love and devotion. When old age slows their steps and makes movement difficult, sometimes all they wish for is a chance to go outside and breathe fresh air. Just as they once carried you in their arms or pushed your stroller along roads filled with sunlight and wind. Older people often forget things, repeat stories, and ask the same questions many times over. Yet, what parents truly need is not always an answer, but simply someone willing to listen with patience and affection. Please do not interrupt them or show annoyance, because as children, we too once demanded the same bedtime story again and again. Though weakened by age, parents continue worrying about their children and offering guidance whenever difficulties arise. This is not an attempt to control your life, but rather the natural expression of a love that has protected you for decades. Bonding. Learn to open your heart and understand that a parent's love has never changed, no matter how many years have passed. Eyes. When the day comes that your parents close their eyes forever, do not wait until then to cry out in regret. Eyes. If you are truly a devoted child, then you will have already fulfilled your duty of love and care while they were still alive. Bound. Though their passing will still bring sorrow, your heart will carry far fewer regrets and unfulfilled wishes. Bind. Even after leaving this world, parents will depart, carrying happiness and peace because of the loving children they raised. Bind. After a lifetime of sacrifice and hardship, elderly people often desire nothing more than patience, kindness, and a little extra gentleness from their children. Pass. Please do not become irritated when your parents need assistance, because one day we ourselves will grow old in the same way. Bind. Everyone eventually reaches old age, just as our parents and grandparents have. So, while we are young, we should learn to treat elders with kindness. Bind. Sometimes the greatest happiness in life is simply having parents who are still here to love, honor, and care for. Fine. As long as parents remain, the family home continues to be the most peaceful refuge after life's exhausting struggles. Vowed to wake each morning and still hear the familiar voice of your parents calling your name is a blessing beyond measure. And the presence of parents in our lives means that family warmth and the bonds of love remain intact. Fame, wealth, and careers can be rebuilt after loss, but time spent with parents can never be recovered once it has passed. Now, therefore, while your parents are still healthy, love and care for them wholeheartedly so that regret never becomes your companion later. 5. As long as your parents remain with you, old age and the burdens that accompany it still seem far away on the horizon. There, with parents by our side, we often feel stronger and more capable of turning unfinished dreams into reality. Wow. As long as parents are still here, we still have someone to honor, a home to return to, and a source of unconditional love. Babe, no matter how mature we become, a part of us always longs to be a child again, within the embrace of those who gave us life. Family. As long as parents remain present, family continues to be the safest and most peaceful shelter amid life's storms. Bowed. No matter how much pressure, hardship, or exhaustion exists outside, returning home still feels like the warmest and safest place. Family is like a gentle harbor that always opens its arms to welcome weary children home after every difficult journey. Fine, cherish, and fully appreciate the blessing of still having parents in your life before impermanence quietly carries everything away. Fund. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Find. A single teaching of the Buddha, when remembered, may awaken us for a brief moment. And yet, a single teaching of the Buddha, when truly put into practice, has the power to transform an entire lifetime. Fine. If you have found today's reflection meaningful and beneficial, please consider liking, following, and sharing it with others. 5. This is not only a gesture of support for the channel, but also a beautiful way to help spread goodness and wisdom far, allowing the Dharma to reach more people who are ready to receive its guidance. Thank you sincerely for your companionship and support. 5. May you always preserve a peaceful heart amid the ever-changing currents of life, living each day with mindfulness, compassion, understanding, and genuine happiness. Fund. Namo Amitabha, Buddha.